Alright guys, we're here with Jonathon Riall, who's the performance manager for the British ParaTriathlon team, right?
Yeah.
Johnny, welcome. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks man.
So, I personally don't know much about ParaTriathlon, quite frankly, and I think a lot of the viewers don't know it either. So just give us a quick summary of what it's about and the history.
Yeah. The history obviously isn't too long. The first major world champs were sort of 2009 on the Gold Coast in Australia. We've had world champs every year since. And ultimately it's the Paralympic discipline for triathlon, and it works in exactly the same way. Its distance is half of an Olympic distance. So we have 750 swim, 20k bike and a 5k run. The bike is a non-drafting element as opposed to the drafting that you see in the Olympics. We have 6 categories and they span from Try 1, which is your wheelchair athletes.
Okay.
And then a mixture, Try 2, 3, 4 and 5 is a mixture of arm amputees and leg amputees and athletes with cerebral palsy, and then you've got your Try 6 athletes who are visually impaired and blind, and they race with a guide and they race on a tandem, so a whole spectrum of disabilities.
Alright, how many guys do you have in the team with you here this time?
This time round at our peak we had 20. Not everyone was able to stay for the whole camp, so we've got about 14 left with a couple of days to go, but a fairly large team. There was only 1 or 2 athletes who weren't able to make it at all, so yeah, a big percentage, about 20 in total.
Right. So whenever you look ParaTriathlon up in the British team, it always says the British team is dominating. World champs, European champs, all that kind of stuff. Is it because the British are just that good, or is it the system, the support system?
I think it's a little bit of both, and I think you have to appreciate we probably started a little bit earlier on some nations, so we don't take anything for granted. We have had a few years head start on some other nations that will absolutely be wanting to try and catch us up. We do have a very strong support system, and obviously we have a very good able-bodied programme that we can learn from, and we've been able to catch up very quickly. But we also have some incredibly talented athletes and some very talented coaches that we've been able to sort of foster and work with. But yeah, like I said, it's with Rio just around the corner. Because we've done well in the past is no indication of how the next couple of years are going to go. So we can't take our foot off the gas.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Rio around the corner. It's the first time ever it's going to be an Olympic sport, ParaTriathlon, actually. So that's not enough. We've got another 2 years about that. That's not enough time for the other nations to catch up?
It is, yeah. It's absolutely enough time. I know how much progress we've been able to make with some athletes in the space of 8 to 10 months. So 2 years for those bigger nations, your Australias, your USAs, the Spanish team are very strong. It's definitely enough time. So we have some grand plans over the next couple of years, which will see hopefully our program kind of take a next step again. And yeah, Paralympic sport is a tricky one. You never quite know who's going to come, who's going to turn up, who's going to come out of the woodwork. So we can only kind of control what we can control and do our best, really. So.
All right. So another training camp. Is it the first time on Lanzarote?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, a lot of our guys still work full time, so the concept of a 2-week training camp is not new to them, but it's certainly a commitment. It's the first time we've been to Lanzarote as a squad for this amount of time. Yeah. Okay.
Did you enjoy it? I mean, is this a place you consider coming back to before the Paralympics as preparation?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, triathlon seems to be absolutely right on the island. We know that with obviously Ironman, but to see a fair few kind of hand cyclists around the island, and I know a fair few athletes who base themselves in various places. Triathlon is about the environment, and what better environment have you got? The weather's not all, it's not been the best to us since we've been here, but
so I've heard.
We're British, so we can zip our waterproof and just get on with it. So yeah, it's a beautiful island and really, really good for training.
All right, folks. So that was a quick insight into ParaTriathlon and the British team. Johnny, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
And maybe we'll catch up with you here before it's time for the Olympics.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.